Welcome to World Recap, the most inconsistent news station out there. Let's see, I made 4 straight bangers for the first 4 weeks, then I made a massive 2-week one, like 2 weeks later. Then I went on hiatus, moved studios, released an episode in November, made a short that was outdated an hour before release, made another short, and now it's April. But I feel like in this time where, like, the most wild things happen on a daily basis, it's time for me to return to give my statements and, like, give my thoughts and viewpoints. Because I do feel like a lot of viewpoints matter in certain scenarios, and I do feel like my viewpoints can help other people. So, I'm your host, William D. Evans, and let's jump into last week. Kicking things off on what's happening in the Beard Cinema, a Minecraft movie is currently playing until April 15th. And man, it was an experience, to say the least. I went off Friday night with some of my friends and my friends' friends, and the theater was packed. We have far more adults than kids seeing this movie. People were, saying Jack Black Steve's lines like a cult. Let's see what else. The children were running up and down. A couple of teens started throwing popcorns and empty cans, and we all clapped when Jason Momoa's character came back from the dead. Oh, the movie itself, it's fine, I guess. You're gonna have more fun with the audience than the movie itself. It's an hour and a half of Jack Black in a blue t-shirt naming random Minecraft items, with small character development for characters that nobody really cares about. The movie encourages creativity, but does things that don't even happen in the actual Minecraft, like the Boots of Swiftness Golem. Is that what's going to be on update like 20.26? Is that what we're on now? And it does have a very small side plot of Jennifer Coolidge dating a villager. I guess they're getting creative in bed, I guess. The movie isn't good. I don't know what you would call it, but it was a movie. And it's playing 5 more times for the 5 of you who haven't heard about the whole theater scream chicken jockey unanimously. What has this peninsula become? Alright, let's get to the actual serious news. So, speaking of cinemas, this week was the week for CinemaCon, the convention where all the companies go to reveal their new films or give updates to films they previously announced. It seems that 7 major studios showed up this year, but it looks like I'm only really going to be talking about the 3 that, I got, the information of. So let's look at what they had to offer. Kicking things off with Sony Pictures, we got very quick announcements for films such as the Anaconda reboot 28 years later and its sequel releasing 6 months later. Dear God. Clara and the Sun, The Breadwinner, and Grand Gear all look like fun times when they release. A small update on the Resident Evil adaptation. Dear God. A third of the video game Jumanji movies was announced. I think this would be cool, like a fun time. Like the other 2 Jumanji movies were good, but not great. So I would be somewhat optimistic for a third. The Legend of Zelda movie got a release date of March 2027. And then we get to the most bizarre announcement, the Beatles movie. Sony is making a biographical movie about the Beatles, but it's not just the band. It's actually 4 different movies that are, that have the exact same story beats, each focusing on different Beatles members, releasing in 2028 on the exact same day. This is just more confusing than anything, if you ask me. People just want to see a movie about the Beatles, the band, not a Beatles movie solely focusing on Paul McCartney or whoever. And then we got trailers for Karate Kid Legends, which looks fine, an animated movie called Goats, and the I Know What You Did Last Summer movie, like the next one released in July. But the best for last is the Spider-Man news with the reveal of Spider-Man Beyond the Spider-Verse. New footage was shown, which looks beautiful from the leaks I've seen, with a release date of June 4th, 2027. Remember when Sony said this film was going to be released 9 months after Across the Spider-Verse? How the hell does this movie get delayed by 3 years? Lastly, the 4th MCU Spider-Man movie. Spider-Man Brand New Day. This movie sounds very exciting from that title alone. Since Spider-Man Brand New Day is the name of the debut comic of Martin Lee, also known as Mr. Negative. So if this is Martin Lee is anything like we've seen from the Insomniac Spider-Man games, we are in for a treat. Alright, next up is Lionsgate, where they, out of the gate, revealed 4 whole John Wick movies. We got John Wick spin-off Ballerina hitting theaters in June. A 5th main entry. John Wick's died in the last one. How are they going to pull that off? An animated prequel showing John Wick's impossible task that he had to do. And another spin-off focusing this time on Kane, the blind guy from Chapter 4. I get that Lionsgate doesn't have a lot of well-known properties to milk, but sweet Jesus, this is a lot of John Wick. They even showed a trailer for the adaptation of Stephen King's first novel, The Long Walk. Then reminded us that the film version of Sunrise on the Reaping is still happening. You know, I have a theory that Lionsgate commissioned Susan Collins to write the novel so they could have another Hunger Games movie to release. So Suzanne stretched out Haymitch's backstory, which was already stated in Catching Fire, into like its own novel. Small reminders in trailers for the American Psycho remake, Good Fortune, and Power Ballad. Then we see the title reveal for the 3rd Now You See Me film, Now You See Me, Now You Don't. I thought the first Now You See Me was kind of too smart for its own good. But since they've established the world a lot more, this film could be like a great time. Like, I would legitimately be interested to see like the 3rd Now You See Me movie. Alright, then lastly is Warner Bros. With their slate of movies for this year, which look kind of promising, like One Battle After Another, The Bride, the 4th and final Conjuring movie, Final Destination Bloodlines, Mortal Kombat 2, Weapons, and F1. They all have promise, but we know how Warner Bros. Can be nowadays. Then Warner goes on to announce a Flintstones movie, a Tom and Jerry movie, and another Looney Tunes movie. Right after selling the other 2 movies that they had to die. And then for the next thing they show, well, what about that? It's the trailer for the 2026 Cat in the Hat. Well, they tried this in the past with Mike Myers, but that is a film that no one admires. And this one seems to only make things worse by introducing a Doctor Seuss multiverse. They also showed things 1 through 8. I can see why this movie's getting loads of hate. After that was, they showed small footage of the upcoming Dynamic Duo, an origin movie about Dick Grayson's Nightwing and Jason Todd's Red Hood. People, when they saw this, were in shock of how good it looked. So this probably is gonna be, like, it's gonna look phenomenal. And this is what I view, and like, yeah, I'm kind of viewing this as like the same way we saw Into the Spider-Verse, with how that was a breath of fresh air. So, like, keep that in mind when seeing the trailer. And then lastly, James Gunn showed up to talk about the Superman movie. He had a rambling discussion for 30 minutes, which got nowhere, before showing us a clip of the James Gunn Superman movie. And it looks phenomenal. This is what I view Superman as. Like, as a pure, good Superman in a world full of Homelanders and Omni-Mans feels so refreshing. And that's where the convention peaked. Paramount, Universal, Amazon, and Disney didn't really show much of note. So I don't really have much to discuss about those. Like, you expect me to give any, empathy towards Tron Ares? Alright, next up. So you might think after CinemaCon, there'd be done with, films and TV news, but that was, only, 80% of, what was shown, from major film and TV studios, because Disney revealed their revival for Phineas and Ferb hitting summer this year. And just looking at the footage, they're hitting it straight out of the park, modernizing the formula and sticking to what it made the show a hit in the first place. Most of the original cast is back, and everything looks just as it did back in 2015. So I am really excited to see this new season. Alright, and next up, Coyote vs. Acme! The infamous canceled movie for tax purposes has finally been saved. Just to recap everything that's gone on with this whole saga, Coyote vs. Acme, it was a Looney Tunes movie about Wile E. Coyote suing the Acme Corporation for faulty devices, leading to a comedic courtroom drama. This film surprisingly had a lot of big talent on the project, like John Cena as the villain lawyer, but was shelved in late 2023 for tax write-off purposes. Overall, meaning that Warner Bros. Would rather take a loss on all the money they poured into this project, rather release it to a potential bomb. This situation has gotten very heated amongst the internet and led to a government investigation at one point. But in the end, Warner shelved the film, even though there is an audience. Well, an audience with an asterisk, and we'll get to that asterisk. Until March of 2025, where this movie came along that was in a pretty similar boat. The Day the Earth Blew Up, a Looney Tunes movie. This film was also going to be shelved until Ketchup Entertainment arrived to buy out the theatrical film releasing rights. So seeing the success, asterisk, this thing only made $5 million on a $15 million budget. Ketchup came to a Warner about publishing Coyote vs. Acme. So Warner somehow struck a deal, meaning that Coyote vs. Acme is releasing in cinemas sometime in 2026. Now, I think this film will be very solid, The Day the Earth Blew Up. But just like we said about that film, no one's going to show up. The people who have been begging to see Coyote vs. Acme be fully released are not going to show up because they're all online. They just want to make angry tweets targeting CEOs for canceling someone's art. So yeah, watch Coyote vs. Acme if you genuinely want to see it. Don't watch it because some nutjob on the internet says that if you don't watch it, it's gonna be the end of the world. So see if you think it is good and see if you think if it's worth your money and then watch it. Only watch stuff that you want to watch. Next up, another new season of a beloved cartoon series got itself a trailer last week, this time being South Park. South Park is hitting its 27th season with a trailer showing what's to come. And you can see exactly what they're making fun of this time around. From the Canadian trade war to Delta Airlines, B. Diddy chasing down Starvin' Marvin in space. They're really making sure this season gets people talking. And, it's not hard for them to do this. The jokes pretty much write themselves with how crazy the world has gotten. And next up, over to the video game news space. Nintendo officially dropped their Nintendo Direct for the Nintendo Switch 2. we got a trailer for Mario Kart World. This looks pretty interesting and impressive. All the tracks are on the same world and you drive all around them. Very interesting idea. Though I wonder how like they're gonna do like Bowser's Castle and Rainbow Road, like how those tracks are gonna look like in this interconnected like space. And the roster is already extremely impressive. Like, I knew this roster was gonna have some deep cuts because 24 people are driving all at once. But I did not expect some of these people in this thing. Like, they're pretty much letting anyone drive in this game. Like, let me just pull this up. We got, Goombas, Pokies, Fishbones, and the cows from Moo Moo Meadows. All as playable racers, might I add. Then we got some new features being announced for the system like Game Chat, which is a feature that allows voice chat with others. You know, voice chat on a Nintendo console might sound fun, but it's going to be a hellish war zone once it actually releases. For those who have it, because you need to pay a Switch Online subscription to even use Game Chat. I'll let you be in charge on that. Let's see what else they put in. Yeah. Oh, Nintendo. They also revealed a game I hoped would be exclusive to the Switch 2, but no, it's $10 alone, like standalone. Nintendo Switch 2 Welcome Tour. A small device like that explains everything about this system and how it works. And the new features. Why this even exists? I have no idea, but it exists. Might I add, this is $10. You're essentially having to pay $10 for an instruction manual. And then for the third-party support, which the Switch 2 is packed from the jump. We have stuff like Elden Ring and Borderlands 4 being available this year. Massive AAA titles. And then we got the announcements for like Hyrule Warriors, Age of Imprisonment, which looks fine. Would greatly prefer other franchises to get like the Warriors treatment from Nintendo. But like Zelda will do. Donkey Kong Bonanza, which kind of concerns me. Like, you know, like I love the Donkey Kong franchise. And I like the Donkey Kong titles a very specific way. Alright? And if they don't do these things a specific way, I'm gonna have a massive fit. But like, so to see like all the stuff like Donkey Kong Bonanza has, it does concern me. You know, like it doesn't have a lot of the major stuff that I remember from Donkey Kong. Like, why is Donkey Kong's eyes, like, why are they like that now? Like, and like, why is he wearing pants? But lastly, we got the reveal from a new title by From Software, The Duskbloods. I've yet to get around to any From Software title. Like, I do have Elden Ring, I've just yet to play it. But, like, I've heard great things about each of them. So this seems like a very odd treat to get on Switch 2. With all this excitement, there is nothing that can go wrong with this system. Fast forward to where things went wrong with this system. So people went on the official Nintendo website and found the Switch 2 will be $450 American and $630 Canadian. And this is, mind you, the standard price and not the bundle with Mario Kart World. Now, I initially thought this was due to tariffs, but no. They are voluntarily selling these games for a higher price than normal AAA releases. Like, you could get a PS5 Slim with a AAA title like Spider-Man 2 or God of War Ragnarok for less than a single Switch 2 with no accessories. This console is meant to be accessible for families, and yet Nintendo's putting these families in debt with just one console. I swear on June 5th, when this thing releases, we're going to be seeing homeless shelters increase in population overnight. Or within the coming weeks. Marvel Rivals. Alright, so next To things that are not Nintendo focused, Marvel Rivals announced that their second season being Hellfire Gala themed, which for those unaffiliated with Marvel Comics is the celebration of all mutant kind on the planet of Krakoa, with the day one hero being Emma Frost. And just like looking at her design, like Emma Frost is not a bad choice. Like she does have a lot of lore. Like this is a outstanding choice for Marvel Rivals. But like just her appearance. Why? Why does she have such big assets? I'm not being horny whatsoever, but they really did go overboard with making her suits over-revealing. I might be a single man, but I am not folding for this woman. They also revealed that the mid-season hero will be Ultron. Really cool idea for the character, and good we are getting more villains in Marvel Rivals. But like, in a somewhat mutant season, like the whole map like they introduced this season is heavily tied to mutants. Why aren't we getting any more mutants like Cyclops, Jubilee, or even Gambit? Over to the music side of things, Kanye West dropped his new album at the worst possible time to be a Kanye West fan. Kanye has been throwing a bit of a hissy fit over the past few months, from his unhinged tweets to his Super Bowl ad, to even pulling up in as a Klan member and claiming that he is evil, to even burning bridges with Curious George. This man is very unwell, so I have like not listened to any of the songs on this album. Oh, but like the fact this album exists and somehow got through his PR and legal teams in the first place, like that's a miracle. The first song's a collab with Dave Blunt of all people called World War III. And then we have other songs called Cosby, Free Diddy, and Hitler, Yay, and Jesus. At this point, Kanye is going to be found dead in a ditch in a year or so. Like, this man's got to take his meds. It's not that simple. You could have your wife of Kim Kardashian, your daughter back. You just got to put in the effort, man. Now, for some streamer news, IShowSpeed is officially live in China for his IRL stream. And things are going better than expected. I mean, I expected him to be shot on day one, but here we are. Speed has already done everything from Kung Fu to being on the Great Wall of China to even being on the Stairway to Heaven. And the people in China are actually like playing along. Like, I did not expect this whatsoever. Like, that I thought like Chinese citizens were meant to be like no nonsense and polite, like not to be racist, but like I've always viewed China as like a very polite culture that like doesn't really take a lot of nonsense like North Americans bring. But like we have like Chinese people, like Chinese citizens, blasting a song in which this Chinese rapper is rapidly saying this word, which is the in Chinese, and saying like, but it sounds like the N-word over here in English, like straight to Speed's face. Speed is loving it there to a point where like, people are claiming that he's being paid by the Chinese government. And before you stop to think that, have you considered, like, why would Mr. Xi Jinping, of all people, give any American money to, like, to promote to promote their country? And of all people, or influencers even, why IShowSpeed? The man who barks every 10 seconds and is known for being wild and rambunctious. So yeah, China did not pay Speed. He just likes being in China. And lastly, this has got to be the funniest thing I've seen this week. And I've seen some wild stuff on April Fools, like the school being canceled on April 31st, and Adventure Time coming to Fortnite. All of which are fake. But this takes the cake. For some reason, the internet has resurrected the John Pork meme and made it into a vast lore where this man named Tim Cheese was once friends with John Pork and killed him when he got too famous. I've been saying Tim Cheese I've been seeing Tim Cheese everywhere, to a point where, like, my whole For You page is either Agent 5.5 asking for the time in Iraq or Tim Cheese explaining his murder plots. And that's all I have for this week's World Recap. If you enjoyed this episode, leave a like so more Newfoundlanders can find this content. And if you want to keep up with more stuff, what's going on in the world for some reason, you can subscribe so you don't miss a thing. And comment down below if there's anything happening this week you want me to cover next week. And lastly, is it today Monday or Friday?